What's going on, y'all? It's Greg. Greg said it. We live. New platform, new and improved. Can y'all hear me? Holla if you hear me. Holla if you hear me. Can anybody hear me? Somebody say no sound. Can you hear me? Let's see. We'll say retrace and say no sound. Then you say, you hear me? Do you hear me? Do you hear me? My mic is on. Let me know, chat. All right. I was about to say, there's no reason for you not to hear me. Did y'all hear the music playing? You know, I had a little music there. Did y'all hear the music playing? Doing the little intro, not the intro, but the whole when I had the sponsor showing everything. Y'all heard the intro. I mean the music. Definitely have to go back and listen to it. Trying something new. I had the sound, had the little sound. There was no music playing when I was playing. Let's go back and check that out. Okay. Check that out on my end. Anywho, we coming to y'all live here. Greg said on a new platform. We kind of left the old one behind. We're going with Be Live. Anybody who's looking to do a little something, y'all check out Be Live. The other platform has moved on to, I guess they've came up in life. So it's going to be some shifts here. So this is one of them. So y'all check that out. Be Live here. That's what we're using going forward. You said the intro, couldn't hear the intro either. Oh, it was, see, we'll check that out. We'll see what it was doing. Playing with it there. Anyway, y'all, what they say here in the chat? They say daytime buffs. Hey, I'm just no more night games. I think BYU, it got the best of BYU. They were I think they had like 2 10 o'clock games in a row. Cause I know they played Utah late, and then they played this team late. Colorado got everything they need on the back end. You think about it. Daytime buffs going forward. I think the Kansas game is going to be like 3:30 Eastern. I believe that also, of course, we're going back to another 10 o'clock game at the very last game, Oklahoma State. So you're back with another 10 o'clock game. I believe that's going to sell out. That's going to be a historic game, especially after you see what happened with Kansas. I didn't watch Kansas because I refused to stay up another late night. I did it enough with Colorado. I watched that little Tyson fight up all night. I refuse to. I want to see them, but not that much. And so that goes back to the theory of the wonderful 10 o'clock games and how just a big money maker and how you're going to get the best views. Because I refuse to go back and listen to, to watch a game that late unless you really committed. Standing to 1:30, it was not that serious. But I woke up to good news that BYU lost. I don't know if it's good news or not because it don't matter because they still kind of, unless they just mess up the last couple games. I don't know BYU who they have left that they could lose to, but I had a chart that showed the records. Should I pull it up? Let me see, can I pull it up myself? Because I found it pretty interesting that it's still some interesting stuff going on. Because I mean, even before we won this game, they were like, "Oh, it's like a 3-way tie, whatever, 4-way tie, whatever." Potential, and so I'm gonna send this to myself because I find it like Arizona State is definitely hanging along. Because who did they beat? Who did they beat? They beat, who did they play last night? Arizona State. Arizona State played. Who are watching them play? Kansas State. They beat Kansas State. I didn't want BYU to lose. For one, maintain they would look like the superhero when Colorado beat them. But at the same time, it looks like I don't know who they got to play left, but we're gonna see. Oh, 1 second. Let's see something. I want to see. Can I pull up the whole? So I'm gonna see. Can I pull it up? Because I was gonna have it on here originally, and this so you can look at the standings of where we are right now with Colorado. It's interesting. Now that BYU lost, it's interesting. But if you look at let me see. Take this off of solo. I'm gonna be doing some different little stuff here. So you look at the standings here. BYU lost one, so technically we tied, similar like what we were when Ohio State lost. But you look at the fact that look who right behind. People think that the ASU is going to sneak in there because they have that. They only lost 2 as well. But unfortunately for them, their 2 losses is in the conference. And it's interesting. I think they lost to Texas Tech. And who else did they lose to? Did they lose to Texas Tech? And was it Cincinnati? I think they lost to 2 teams that we beat. So Iowa State, they sit up there, and I believe who they played. I believe they beat Cincinnati. I haven't checked the score. Let me see, because I'm looking at the standings, so I know they beat them. Iowa State. I was saying that earlier. Cincinnati, Iowa State. They beat them 34-17. So Kansas State don't pretty much put themselves in a bad spot by losing last night as well. That's a game. I don't know what they was hoping for, holding on for, but now they don't went down 4-3 in the conference. So they at the bottom, Texas Tech at the bottom, TCU, even Baylor's over Kansas State at this point. Kansas State just kind of fell off. And Iowa State is hanging right behind Arizona State. So, you really don't want to, you still count. I mean, you got to play one way or another. You got to play one way or another because you got to look at the fact that Kansas, that those two, you've been a 3-way tie. We're losing the game pointlessly in a 5-2. But you be in a 2-loss club basically. You don't want to be in that. BYU don't want to be in that. Colorado don't want to be in that because they hanging so close behind that it's like. So who does BYU play? As I told y'all that BYU and Iowa State is not who they were in the beginning. They kind of like they're not finishing strong. They're not playing strong. I know injuries and all that play a big part in it. Let's see BYU. Who do they play? Oh goodness, BYU got to go play Arizona State in Houston. Arizona State. If they get BYU, like y'all say, Arizona State if BYU lose to Arizona State will be in that championship. Doggone it. How we handling the haters? They know where to be found like they always been, man. They only show up when Colorado lose. And that's a definition of a true hater. It's a definition of a true hater. Speaking of hater, the opposite of hater is right here. Got my new gold shirt. I think we're gonna do something special for in a week or so coming up. We're gonna have the owner of the company come on. We're gonna give away a couple shirts, so make sure y'all be here. Give away a couple shirts for celebration of Colorado going to that big dance, man. So we're gonna give away a couple shirts. Gonna do a little giveaway. It's gonna be this gold Colorado's new gold shirt right here. Unified strength. We already told y'all what it represent. Anybody can disguise themselves, but unified strength is all about what we are right now. when everybody was dogging Colorado all off season, making the little jokes, people talking about certain people in the chat. They talked all that, try to make it like you don't know what you're talking about. It's a fantasy, and this is the reality. It's been the reality, y'all. It may be a new reality some that Colorado is who we thought they were and who we said they were. And when they kind of started off slow, everybody's ready to pounce on them. Oh, you barely beat North Dakota State. Da, da, da. Guess what? North Dakota State ain't lost nobody but us. For the haters, let me relook their record up just in case something changed, which I doubt. North Dakota State football. North Dakota State had just beat Montana State pretty bad. To be such a bad team. Let me tell you what North Dakota State has done this year. Let me. It's for all the haters. Right? Let me go on up here. They lost to Colorado 31-26. They went on to beat Tennessee State 52-3. They beat East Tennessee State 38-35. That was close. They beat Townsend 41-24. They beat Illinois State 42-10. They beat North Dakota, who was supposed to be the champs, right? 41-17. They beat North Dakota. They beat Southern Illinois 24-3. They turned around and beat South Dakota State, who was supposed to be big dogs, 13-9. They beat Murray State 59-6. They beat Northern Iowa 42-19. They beat Montana State 59-21, and they about to go up against South Dakota coming up in the week. So they ain't lost to nobody but us, guys. Yeah. How about that? Where you at? I told you people change their names when they come around here. They change their names. They get new identities. What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, BYU got a tough run, man. They got a tough run. I don't know what Houston did this week. What did Houston do this week? Seems like they've been playing all right. Houston, cool guys. So I don't know, maybe they had an off week or something like that. I think they had an off week. And then they got to go see Baylor. And then they got BYU. BYU got a tough run. If they do play Colorado, they can come in wounded. Because goodness gracious. They're not finishing where they are. They're not finishing where they've been at the end of the day. I mean, you gotta think about the fact. I'm gonna give y'all a lesson. Yeah, they lost to Arizona and they lost to Texas Tech. So they lost to two teams we beat. Arizona put a whooping on somebody yesterday. Who was that they whooped? Who was they playing yesterday? I ain't thinking too much. Houston lost to Arizona. Why is it? Yeah, they lost to Arizona. That's who they got whooped by. Arizona whooped them pretty good. Arizona had, sometimes people show bursts of who they are or who you thought they were, who they could be. And that's why you don't play around with a team. I think that's what happened with Kansas. I think Kansas did the same thing with Kansas State. They kind of played them close, but I don't know what happened when it came up to BYU. I really don't. That's why I talk about at this point in the year. That's why I talk about at this point of the year. You got to really be strategic about your depth and preserving your team, because they ain't got nothing to play for. They gonna lose. They're gonna win or lose. Their season gonna be over. They can let it hang all out. You trying to go to a championship game? That's an extra game. Then you win that, you can go into a pretty much a 3-round playoff with the bye. See what I'm saying? So you got that game, make it to the semi, make the final. It can be a rough run. And whoever preserves their players the most are going to be the ones who play the best. It's a extended season. What's going on? Yeah, we're talking about at this point in the season, and see, people don't understand the importance of matchup. Okay, we talking about Colorado with injuries, played around with Kansas State. Travis got hurt. Act like you don't know, but Travis got hurt. Jimmy got hurt. Jimmy still hurt. Um, then you talk about Mario Miller, what they went down. Then we go back, come down on the referee, let our man get Bobby Boucher. Don't call nothing at the end of the game. So you're not getting no help. Colorado had the game and just let them bomb them up the sideline. The game pretty much was over outside this abnormal bomb. So it's a lot of things that played around with Arizona, Kansas State. We played around with them, and we also got to look at the fact that it wasn't that. I mean, Colorado can play around with their food, but Kansas State didn't do nothing special. They didn't beat Colorado either at that little midnight game they played. We played Kansas State yesterday. We blew them out too. Kansas State really is nobody special. They're really not. Yeah, Kansas is what we consider a mid-tier team. They always have been a mid-tier team. What that means is they do enough dumb stuff not to be a champ, but they good enough to challenge anybody. I think that's how Utah is to me. They always try to put Utah above who they are, but how they finish every year shows who Utah is to me. It has been a mid-tier team. They don't win the games they should win or whatever. And that's what BYU and our state is playing like. They're playing like a mid-tier team. They can play really, really high, and then they can go and lose games they don't supposed to lose. They can play really rough and look elite, and then they can go and lose to a 3-5 team. And that's how mid-tier teams play. You can't win championships that way. That's why we stay on Colorado. You can't be up and down, up and down, up and down, Hey, when you make a living off of people losing, that's the risk you play, and that's what Hayden do, man. It's a gamble. That's why they like to gamble. It's a gamble, you know. Um, Knowing it literally, and the refs did too. Yeah, I mean, I think that I don't like when people like kick people when they down. I think at the end of the day, I think that they were a struggling team last year, and there was a lot of factors, internal and external. The referees was on their back. It wasn't fair because, like I've said for the 1,000th time, CU was a 7-5 team last year. Could have been 8-4. I mean, when you look at the talent and you look at the scores, and you look at the fact that they stole games from them. Utah was clear there. Well, that's why I put that Travis up there. I called it Travis redemption. You see, I call it Travis redemption because I remember this game here last year. They took 2 touchdowns from this man. You see what I'm saying? I remember that. They took one from Dylan Elvin, 2 from Travis. It was not a contest last year, but they make stuff. They create stuff that make games look like CU worse than what they are. I don't know. You say return for the postseason? It depends on what he broke. Did he break? Was it an ankle? Because I don't know. I didn't see him out there. I ain't seen him practicing. You say based on how he was looking. Elaborate. I haven't seen him do anything, unless it's a recent video. I haven't seen a recent video. I know T.O. came back fast. T.O. came back in the Super Bowl. He was drinking that Nona juice. I don't know if y'all know about that Nona juice. T.O. was drinking that Nona juice, man. I used to be a Nona juice ambassador back in the day. Yeah. I try to tell people early in the season that if you can't outpass Shador, you just can't beat him. Like everybody else can get down 21 points and it's over. Shador can get down at 21 points and it's a walk in the park. He's gonna run you down. Is he gonna run you all the way down? He's gonna run you down. It's sad that he played better when he got to run you down. He gets bored when he up 21. He don't ever just get up on you 21 and something to score 21 more. He ain't got that killer in him. He ain't got that. I don't care about the scoreboard. I'm just gonna keep playing at that level. He get behind 21, he run you down like nobody business. Most quarterbacks can't do that. Not Cam Ward can't even do that. Matter of fact, I watched Cam against Georgia Tech. He's not as elusive in the pocket as Shador. Shador is definitely one of a kind when you look at everybody else got. He can come back from behind. He can work the pocket. He can work that pocket. So yeah. I was at the games day when I still had a boot on the sideline. Yeah, I can see that. I don't see him not being in no boot this quick. I wore a boot. I mean, you wear that boot for 6 weeks. Easy. So I don't know about no comeback playoff, even though playoffs was really a whole nother season. All right, they're getting ready for Texas here. Think about that. When we saw that, it looked like it was so far off. It was so impossible. Think about that. Coach Prime in Texas, and Dallas, Texas, out of all places. Think about that storyline. Yeah, I don't think Kansas is I mean, they're not really on the level. We definitely would have won with Travis there, and that's what I was telling people. Like Travis getting hurt changed the dynamic of the season. Even he talks about it, and the other players talk about it, because you got to think about it. It changed so much about the team. It was a lot of emotional turmoil. It was a lot of pressure on them to lose. They was undefeated at that time. They were so scared of CU winning last year that the whole country shut down to try to stop them. Even Keyshawn talked about it. So, Travis getting hurt, that's just some hoodoo. Because if he didn't, yeah, you probably would have lost to Oregon. But you definitely would have played USC a lot differently. You see the difference that he makes in the field from a playmaking ability. Also from you got to stay away from certain stuff. So you just can't undermine when you have a playmaker on the field how much that impact the momentum and of the game. You just can't deny that. And I just know he didn't get hurt. He would have been playing different at the Stanford game. A lot of the momentum would have been different, because that's what sports is momentum. He's walking with no assistance on the sideline. Yeah. I mean, he's just walking in a boot now. Yeah, I mean, I've already told everybody from the beginning, you're not gonna run on CU. Now y'all starting to see what I've been saying. CU is not going. You're not gonna run on them. I said that all season. People laugh. Oh, y'all don't. Oh, ha, ha, ha. Hey, a lot of people laugh. A lot of stuff now. You see now, right? I try to explain to people about matchup. I try to explain to people about personnel. For the people who claim they know so much about football who's not here now, let me explain unhindered. As I was saying, way back in April, when you look at a typical college team that's good, they may have one. You really got an elite team where you got 2 strong cornerbacks. I'm gonna tell you that, and a safety. You really elite, because most teams don't really have maybe one good cornerback, another one decent, and the safeties, they just solid. And you have probably one strong linebacker, and you have like a couple strong defensive linemen who can really make a lot of noise. But when I saw the number of pass rushers that CU had, I was like, oh shucks, they're gonna be a problem because you can't block all of them. If you do, you're really elite. And even though I knew nothing about the Big 12, I knew if they were that good, they're gonna be in the top 5, at least the top 10. And I knew they didn't have that. So I'm like, damn, they got 3 strong linemen who can lock up with our 3 best D linemen. They're gonna be a really good team. But I know that most teams in the college level, you might have a couple of strong linemen, like one guy go like, you're gonna have your Jordan seat, and you're gonna have a couple guys on the line, they going to the NFL. But your whole line ain't gonna go to the NFL. If you do, you're gonna be in the national championship. And I knew that rankings wasn't there. I knew Texas was gone. I ain't want nobody left that just was known to just be that kind of dominant. So I already knew right then they was gonna have a problem with our defensive line. This is my logic. So I said, I saw we brought in BJ Green. And they had a lot of talk about Sam Okinola, and Hayes was coming in. So I'm like, that's 3 right there. I don't even know these guys, but they just coming with a lot of noise. And he just said, you put them on the opposite side. And I said, Matt Neal, the way he played at the end of last year, if he ever wake up, this is just gonna be a problem. And I knew the block bully was gonna control the middle. Then we just kept adding not Hayes. We added Buell. And we had Torian Carter, and we just had a lot of depth. So I said, oh man, they in trouble because now these boys can get rest. Now we can deal with injury like we have. Shane Coates has been out. Carter has been out. Buell has been out. Those are 3 interior linemen that's gone. Then we added Tafik. So I knew that we wasn't just going to fall off if people wasn't able to play. We just wasn't going to just lose all production. We really able to maintain production at every one of those positions with the depth we have. I knew that was going to be a problem. I knew that. And these are people who coming in with production and reputation. So, when you think about it, at the end of the day, Colorado's front 5, you can say front 7. I knew that they should be top in the conference at the end of the day. They should be the top in the conference because of the fact that I knew no other team would have that. And this before the season started. Now I knew Hill Green, that from his background and just really researching, I knew he was going to be really good. Didn't know much about how Bentley was going to perform, but iron sharpens iron. So Bentley and Hill Green, they work well together. They 2 older guys. The linebackers on the same page. They play very well. So at the end of the day, I don't think Chainsaw is on the team. I think somebody probably uses his jersey on the kickoff, possibly. I don't know. It would be nice to have that whole depth thing, because that's where we at right now. We had the most depth at linebacker. The thing about our linebackers is JB redshirted, but he's still practicing. So realistically, that you need JB and Trevor and all them. If you need them, I don't know. I hope they've developed. But if you need those extra linebackers, they can play. The red shirt is null and void after that Oklahoma State game. I hope you understand that. So, those guys, if we need some depth pieces at linebacker, JB, and then we can come back in. Just keep that in mind. Recorded a tackle where he didn't get in as a linebacker. You talking about recorded tackle on the kickoff? That was not Chainsaw. He had the number on. These people left. I don't know what Hayes had. Somebody asked about Hayes. Hayes just, I don't know. He had surgery not too long ago. So Trevor may be transferring, but Trevor is practicing. They just don't, you pay attention. You'll see him in the buff walk. You'll see him in the practice. They just ain't highlighting him. I'm sure a lot of people may be transferring. But they butts not transferring into the semester over. So, They look like these are two experienced linebackers, and iron do sharpen iron. So when you look at people playing together like that, they've been playing together because they both understand the position. It's hard to play like with somebody who on a different page and anything, but they're on the same page. So they watch film together, they call each other, and that's how you want your linebackers to be. I know when I play linebackers, my line we was like that. Sit together on the way to the games. We was on the same page and it showed because you are the wall behind that defensive line. There's only two of you. We heard Chainsaw's name. It was a guy with a 22 jersey on the kickoff. I don't know who it was, but I think at the end of the day, what we're looking at is Colorado is 2 games away, and I think one of their biggest challenges in the back end of the season is Kansas, because Kansas, they have a running quarterback, and yeah, the overall team is going to definitely be good. They have a running quarterback, and they also have a decent running game. Now, the beauty is that's the description of the Big 12. This may be new to BYU because they haven't been playing these people. We have. We played all these teams. That was the point all along. They put us in that situation to play all of these teams. So it's not that BYU. I don't know. I think part of it is wear and tear. I think part of it is like struggle of maintaining consistency, but I think it's also they didn't really play a lot of these teams, and we do. I mean, you gotta look at who did they lose to? Who did BYU lose to? Well, this is their first loss, and they lost to Kansas. But I'm thinking about Iowa State. Both of those teams really didn't play nobody like that. So when you think about it, at the end of the day, we have played more running quarterbacks. When you look at BYU and they had a challenge with UCF, we didn't really have a challenge with that. We played them, Kansas State. I think BYU beat the mess out of Kansas State, but it was a lot of turnovers and stuff like that. Most of the teams that we played at this point have been primarily a run team. I think that's why Iowa State gets into trouble, is that they are primarily a run team and they can't really throw the ball. In fact, the quarterback will run the ball. And I think Iowa State and Kansas will be a good matchup. But nobody is a pure passer in this conference. That's totally different than what they faced last year at the Pac-12. They can light it up. All the way down to Cam Ward, they can light it up. Pennis can light it up. Bo Nix can light them up. Everybody can light that thing up. So you had a chance to go toe-to-toe with somebody like Shedeur. When you don't have an ability to strike like Shedeur, it's really unfair. So that's why another reason what I said in the beginning of the year was it's going to be hard for these teams to beat Shedeur in Colorado, Buffalo. It's going to be hard because they are in a conference that's run heavy. Go back and listen. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. Y'all should be on subscribe by now if you're here, because this is where it's at. We didn't want to stand in here. A lot of people talk real big, but they're not here. They wasn't accurate. You're going to be spending your time listening to people talk about a team and trying to get the truth and trying to get some insight for whatever reason. You want to hear from people who stood the test of time. And when you look at it, I've always said Colorado biggest advantage is that they have Shedeur. And if they match up any other way, the problem is going to be the quarterback matchup. Period. If the other team got a decent quarterback, they have a chance. But as this team has developed and gelled over time, the defense is stepping up, and they say you ain't got to put all that pressure. It definitely reminds you a lot of Jackson State at this point, because that's what Jackson State was. It was a team that didn't put a lot of pressure on Shedeur. Shedeur had slow starts at Jackson State, but when he was on, man, they tore your behind up because the defense was stingy. Remember, Jackson State was known. I think they was giving up an average of 21 points or something like that. This team's looking like Jackson State run when they went to the championship. The defense is stingy. And if you can't outscore Shador, it's like, so you really, your only way of beating a Colorado is you have to have a defense. Utah had a decent defense. They did. But the offense just it wasn't compatible to really give a challenge like that, even with the slow start. Yeah, transfer portal is definitely coming. That's what I say. Yeah, I mean, Kansas State don't lost a certain amount of games for a reason now. Don't get foolish. You just don't play with teams like that. But they not juggernaut. You know, they're what, 4 and 4 at this point. I think they was 3-5. So maybe they like 4-5 at this point. Something like that. They that for a reason. They that for a reason. They can be beat, and they have some weaknesses. Just be real. Man, like they a Superman because they beat BYU. Anybody can be beat. And when you talk about matchup, and BYU just really struggled with the run. They just struggled with the run. They struggled against Oklahoma State. What was that? Oklahoma State gave them a hard time. Oklahoma State was another sorry team, as far as a record. But the running backs gave them a hard time. Man, had like 200 yards rushing. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've been with these boys the whole time, and like I say, the receipts are there. Go back and enjoy the old content. You can see what was coming. While everybody else was talking foolish, I don't know. You say you get paid to talk foolish. I don't know. That's your credibility. I'm not talking foolish for the fun of it. I told you how this thing was going to go, all the way down to the record, all the way down to the record. Yeah, the quarterback was solid. I mean, compared to other quarterbacks, yeah, he can run. He managed the game well. People are already they're talking about next year, but great impact. Sure would have did great in the Pac-12 last year. I mean, the Pac-12. I mean, last year, secondary just I don't know. They had some discombobulation going on. The whole defense was discombobulated. It got better though, but it was discombobulated. Yeah, I mean, everybody knew what North Dakota was. They just try to undersell them because they lost CU, because they want to find a way to dog CU out. But it's a lot of room where CU can go. They put a lot of negative on tape, but they really ain't sure what they fully can do. And that's what makes them dangerous. Somebody asked me why did I choose the title I chose. What makes CU the most dangerous team? I'm gonna tell you right now what makes CU the most dangerous team. CU is a team that hasn't played their best. We whine about it, we complain about it, we talk about it. They go and beat like this team, like what was it, 49 or 24, something like that, and 27, something like that. And you look at the fact that we gave them 6 points, literally, with those field goals in the beginning of the game. And we played with our food a little bit. And yet you put up on almost over 40 points on considered the best defense in the conference. Far as they don't let people score. I think the most a team has scored on them was like 27, something like that, 20 points. So they don't let you score. Even if they lose, they're going to lose. It's going to be a low scoring game. You play with your food and put up over 40. So you got to be bozo to clown, not comprehend that. You just want to come and play. CU is a very dangerous team. They're dangerous to who they play, and they're dangerous to themselves. Because they're dangerous to themselves because they can play around with you and it's all right, let me play, and then lose like they did Kansas State. And it's not because they couldn't, they just played around too long. They stayed asleep too long. They played with you too long. And they easily could have beat you down if they had played their game or played the whole game. You wouldn't have had a chance. That's what makes them dangerous to themselves. But when you look at who they play, somebody The dangerous part about Colorado is you don't know who you about to play. You don't know they're gonna come out fast. The defense can be very vicious. The defense can come and sack you 6, 7 times in the game, put a lot of pressure on your quarterback. DBs are very frisky. They'll pick the ball off. Linebackers showing they can pick the ball off. You put that ball in the air at any given moment, it's risky. And most people just ain't got a whole bunch of elite receivers just go all over the place like a CU. They just ain't shown that. So if you do get a little happy out here and throw the ball, they mess around, tip a ball, somebody hit them, make them fumble. The secondary will hit them, make them fumble the ball. They will hit your quarterback while he trying to throw the ball, make him fumble the ball, or they'll knock his back in, hurt him. So anytime you drop back and throw the ball, it's very risky against them. They're very frisky. But then if you run the ball, they're very stingy against the run, which is contrary to what people said they would be. They can't stop the run. They're very stingy. I mean, when you look at the run lanes, they have figured that thing out. They make the game boring. You're not gonna get a lot of big runs. They don't really figure this thing out over the last few weeks. They really haven't gave up a whole lot over the year, but you look at how they giving up the run and from the beginning of the season compared to the back end of the season, they are very, very, very stingy when it comes to the run. So even if you're a pretty strong run team, you're only gonna get so much. You're only gonna get so much going against CU. I'm behind, so I didn't miss what you said, what you were saying here. I really did. Um, yeah, I mean, you just watch how this man play. Just watch how he play. He 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 don't really get sparked up until he get behind. Let's be real. And so when you play somebody who's gonna challenge him the whole game, they may keep his attention, but then that's gonna be a stress that they haven't really experienced. A full game of stress. They either had let you got ahead or they got ahead. They haven't played no contentious all fourth quarter game. That's what I've been saying about them. We will see. I don't think Kansas is that good. I didn't watch the game. I think they're a good team, but I don't think when you look at, I think probably can compare them to maybe how Kansas State played at best, as far as moving the ball, running it. But the way that defense play against the run, that's you got to be able to throw that ball against Colorado State. If you can your best bet is to throw the ball against Colorado State. But the bad thing about it is our defensive line has really come on. So you risking yourself for a lot of sacks, pressure, and getting quarterback hit. You risking that. You risking that when you throw the ball. If you finally got some people who pressure that quarterback. Oregon, can you say overrated? He's already on the team, but I'm betting the next quarterback is secure. Yeah, Ponder's good. Ponder's good. He got a lot of potential. Yeah, he'll throw it up in the air, but I think that our defensive line is gonna be a problem for him because he gonna have to. They close. He gonna have to run up the middle because they do a good job of containing the quarterback when they do pressure. But when you look at the running lanes, they're gonna have to come right back to where the linebacker is. I don't want to drop the linebacker so deep to the point where the quarterback looking run. But I also know the D line, they know how to control those lanes pretty good, where he can run right into the arms of one of our D linemen. They play together, like say, not being individuals, but they play together. That's what it's gonna be. I noticed that. I know really cross this. Yeah, I mean they know what to do with that. If the referees let them get picked, they'll go into zone. You probably want to be in zone anyway with the running quarterback. You don't want everybody back to be to quarterback running a mile down the field before you realize it. They know what they're going up against. And they're going to adjust to that. It's not like we one size fit all. These coaches know how to make adjustments. You don't want to be one dimensional. Almost one dimensional against Colorado at this point. They're going to scale. You know, they're going to set it for for who they're playing against. They shouldn't have scored those points. Absolutely. Well, what game should we give people points every game, make it look closer than what it is. We did it last week. We did Arizona. We did it UCF. We even Cincinnati. We don't really because we can have all kinds of records and rankings if we just play a full game. Yeah. Yeah, but that makes them dangerous. If they do play a full game on the day they play you, your feelings gonna be hurt. So you can talk crazy. If they mess around and decide to wait, it's the sleeping giant decides to wake up, then yeah, I mean everybody talked about the injuries. Like Utah they had that, they just sit there and whine like they did last year we played them. They whine. But the reality is we got injuries too. Nobody thought twice about the injuries we have. We got injuries to the point where I started strong safety didn't play. They stood it tomorrow. They didn't have the tight end out there. Nobody talk about the fact we've been out of our start and we don't have multiple starting linemen to get hurt. We had Hayes get hurt. Turn around, had Buell. Buell was playing and part of rotation and big part of rotation in the core get hurt. We had Shane Colt recently get hurt. Carter been hurt. So these are interior pieces. We had key receivers get hurt, and we a bit passing attack. So CU depth has been shown in multiple areas. Even Travis Hunter was hurt at a point, and we maintain. That's a good thing. That's a good thing to be able to see because that shows you can maintain over the battle, over the test of time. Because over a long season like this, that's what you're gonna see. I mean, you're looking at the fact that Colorado is trying to win a Big 12, go to the playoff. Everybody else gonna be done. They're gonna be done by that last week in November. They done. They don't have to worry about what the injuries and all that look like. So you gotta look at the fact Colorado depth it's gonna pay off. Hopefully, some of these boys even come back. Think about that. Hopefully, we get some pieces back. Hopefully, we do get Shane Coates back. We do get. I don't think Carter. I don't know about Hayes. I don't know what happened to Buell, but hopefully he come back because when it's time to get nitty gritty and grind it out, that depth will come into place because some pieces may be a better fit depending on the matchup. The more pieces you have, the better. And it's all about strategy, y'all. Make sure y'all liking. Make sure y'all sharing. Y'all subscribing. If you new here, make sure y'all subscribe. We're gonna go ahead and look over the stats. This is what we normally do. It's always an eye-opening thing when we look at the stats. These are the stats. Colorado football. We watch them. Boise State earns a first round bye. Just a projection, I guess. So. Let me see. Let me see these stats. See all kinds of stuff pop up. Colorado versus Utah. Colorado versus Utah. What my stats at? I only care about stats until I like look at a game. Does it tell you a lot about that game? You know, sometimes you look at the scoreboard, you don't see a lot of stuff about the game that you see in the stats. So that's the only time I really look at the stats. I absolutely think they get bored. I've already said, that's how they act. That's how they play. It is what it is. So we look at this game they just played. Let's look at this. 1 second. First quarter. Now, it's a saying that Colorado typically gets outscored in the first quarter. Something not adding up to me. Mm-hmm. I guess I thought they scored 6 in the first quarter, but Utah had 3. Colorado had 14 in the first quarter. Then Utah got 6 in the second quarter, so we kind of flipped it a little bit. And then Colorado got 7 in the second quarter. So what's that? 21-9 at halftime, right? Then Colorado came out flat, I guess. This is what we're looking at. Third quarter, they both scored 7. So they both scored 7. So now here it is. Utah had, what was that? 15, 16. Colorado had 28. But you think about it, if Utah scored before Colorado, so let's say 9 plus 7 plus 16, and at that point, Colorado only had 21. So that's when they looked close again because they scored their 7 first, then we scored our 7, then we jumped up to 28 to that 16. And then they scored again, and then they had like 24. Like, oh, here they come. And then Colorado just took off 21 points in the fourth quarter. This is the difference. This is what makes Colorado scary. Colorado typically don't do crap in the last half of the game. So that's a good sign. Colorado typically don't do too much of nothing. But Colorado decided to score their most points, probably for the first time this season. They didn't need to, but they scored 21 points. They scored more in the fourth quarter than they did in any other quarter. They scored 14 in the first quarter. They scored 7 the second, 7 the third, 21. So look at the whole middle of the game. They didn't do too much in that. They scored 14 in the first quarter. Only 1 touchdown in the second, 1 the third. They scored 21 in the fourth. That's what makes these boys scary, y'all. Come on now. I ain't talking to the bozos, the clowns. Now I'm talking about, look at these chats trying to catch up. Yeah, I'll just keep it coming. I'm just so far behind here. I almost beat Florida. Yeah. Yeah, we got this thing going. Make sure y'all go back and catch that replay. Like, share, and subscribe. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. So Colorado, we're looking at the stats here. Passing wise, Wilson, he got in a little hot streak a little bit. He was 21 of 40. So he was right at low 50%. 236 yards total. 2 touchdowns. He threw 3 interceptions. He tried, y'all. Shador, 30 for 41. 340 yards, over 100 yards more, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception, which he threw at the very beginning of the fight. Like, was it the first or second play of the game? Threw it right to the man. Augusta was the top rusher with 59 yards. They're running back, which they know. I guess they're supposed to have a running game. Again, it's like how many weeks in a row we shut down top runner? He only had 28 yards with 7 carries. So I guess they figured they're going to run the ball about as much as us, less effective. So they're going to throw the ball, which didn't work out well for them. Draylon Miller had 6 receptions for 108 yards. He come a true freshman and had the most yards in the game. That shows you how many weapons you got. You're going to focus on Travis. You're going to focus on Wester. And they were leaving Draylon Miller running right up the seam. Had linebacker over him. He just ate him alive. C. Ryan had 4 receptions for 78. That's their receiver, right? So I got to find my normal stats, man, to show me all my stuff. Let me see. I'll get my stats right here. So again, total yards, Colorado 405 yards. Utah total 272. So they ain't run a ball worth for nothing because I think we said like they passed for like 230. So they ain't run a ball worth nothing. Keep that in mind for the running teams. I'm talking a lot. I'm glad I can help some, y'all. Glad I can help somebody. Hope it help Colorado too. 2 yards per game. I don't know the whole season. Well, yeah, the offense have been struggling. I mean, we definitely looking at the stats here. Yeah. Let me see. Can I get that? Got bad up in the chats again, y'all. Yeah, Shiloh come in. He Shiloh, keep looking over Shiloh. He'll hurt you. I'm gonna tell you, I call him UCLA Shiloh. And see, this again, this is what makes people dangerous. You start looking over players, you start disrespecting players, you forget. Shiloh was pretty much leading the conference last year in tackles. Shiloh was like, he had more forced fumbles and all that last year, while everybody was hating. And see, when you go to looking over people like Shiloh, the man don't been playing for 5 years, and you go to, we didn't forget Shiloh, and Shiloh will mess around, and he'll be like Samson. He'll have that one game, he'll be a terrorist, and then just might mess around and be the Big 12 championship. They might just mess around and be that playoff game. They got so many players. It only take one to emerge. It don't have to be every game. Shiloh can mess around and decide to be that guy and terrorize a team. Just terrorize a team. And he can be a difference maker. He's still Shiloh Sanders. Everybody want to minimize him. He ain't had that game yet, y'all. He can have that game where he can just wreak havoc, man. Just cause all kinds of fumbles, have your receiver scared to go across the middle. Like he did in that UCLA game last year. He just came up, and that was after I think he got hurt. That he was hurt before that too. And then they put him out the game. He was hitting them kids like they were little kids out there, man. But it was just why Colorado's supposed to have won that UCLA game. The referees helped with that too, including put Shiloh out because UCLA won that game late in the game. They could not move the ball. They was terrorized. They had to put Shiloh up out of there. Oh, he's a problem. We ain't gonna be able to steal this game. He in there. They shaking in their boots going across that middle. Troll on to the championship, man. We already don't make the trolls look like clowns at this point, man. They that's how dumb they are. They just full of pride and ego because they already don't been embarrassed enough. They look where we at. We ain't supposed to be here. So now they're just straight ego. They're just gonna look dumb in the process. And that's what you look like. You just look dumb. Like we entertain your stupidity like all summer before the season. They do like a good troll and disappear. Like 90% of them have, unless they wouldn't change their name. Like I said, come back with a new identity. Shiloh was hurt. He came back, man. He was worried about that arm, and anybody who played hurt will know how that feel. You know, he can say it wasn't affecting him, but you don't want to re-break that arm. You don't feel comfortable. You really don't came back a week early. So, I mean, even if you didn't, it's like you fracture your leg, you worry about refracturing until it take you a few weeks to realize, okay, I'm all right. And then you start to forget about it. But as long as it's fresh on your mind, you're gonna be kind of favoring it. So you gotta think about it. You broke your arm and you're tackling. Then we got to wrap up. And that's all he was doing when he broke his arm. He didn't do nothing special. So he got to do that every play when you bring your arms and the knee hit you the wrong way. When you first come back, that's still on your mind. So after a few weeks, he ain't think about that no more. He back to, being comfortable coming up. And that's what it takes. That's what it takes. And after we did with Texas Tech, he definitely can't come around there. He definitely can't. Yeah, that was his little school. So let me finish these stats up. And we get on out here good, bad, and ugly. Get y'all a song. Appreciate y'all coming. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. We have a little Discord. Let me see. I drop a little Discord in there for y'all. Like I'm on my new program here. So y'all, thank y'all for working with me here. Like, share, and subscribe. Go ahead and do that. We got Discord right here. Let's see that Discord show. It ain't no crawler title. Make sure y'all have that in there. Okay. So we got the Discord right there. Make sure y'all get a copy of that Discord. We try to do a little something. I don't show it live because I stream, so my stream be a little behind. So that kind of throw me off a little bit. That's the only reason why I don't stream during the game. I gotta stream it where I can stream it on my TV. I'm not my TV, with my camera, but not direct. And so that's the only reason why I don't do it. Uh, but outside of that, yeah, we got a Discord. We talk, whatever. We're gonna do a little more in the future. But anyway, passing yards for Colorado's 340. Utah's 341. Rushing yards are only 65. Both teams didn't rush too much work from them, but we brought them down our level and below. So Utah only got 31 rushing yards. Interesting enough. Plus, you had them sacks, and that probably messed them up. We had 6.6 yards per play to their 3.8 yards per play. We had 17 first downs. They had 15. So we wasn't that much. Our third down efficiency was only 3 of 11. And theirs was 7 of 17. So they had, I don't know, better third down efficiency than us. Their fourth down efficiency 0-1, but we got 2 for 2 on the fourth down. So it's either we were making it happen, but we weren't really to convert on third down. We were 3rd and 40, 3rd and 20, 30. Our third down crap every time they found a wonderful way to throw some flags. We had total 61 plays. They had 71 plays. We punted 5 times. They punted 6. We had 5 penalties. This had to be our least penalized games, but we got them at all the dumb times, clearly, because it felt like we had a lot of them. We got 5 penalties, 49 yards. So we had less penalties and less yards. I guess we'll call that an upgrade. And they had 3 for 25. It sure feel like we had more penalties that at some point they were throwing flags. We lost 2 fumbles. Isn't that interesting enough? I know Shador fumbled 1 and then Will Shepard fumbled 1. Forget that. So we gave 3 turnovers because we fumbled, but they threw 3 interceptions and we threw 1. So they found a way to beat us in the turnover game. We only had the possession of the ball 23 minutes and 55 seconds. I guess this gonna be news. I ain't heard nothing yet, of course. But his teammates was already doing it. So we waiting on it. I'm sure his little room and everything already set up all them trips he don't made to Boulder. But when you start seeing his teammates decommit and coming and going to other schools and his other ones visiting with us, a shift coming. So yeah. So they had 35 minutes, 38 seconds time. They had the ball longer than us. It didn't count for nothing. It hurt them because they wasn't able to score. So that's what we're looking at. So we look at the good, bad, and ugly. I will say this, y'all. Colorado, good. I like that fourth quarter situation, man. They finally finished the game on the high end versus finishing, peaking in the middle, peaking in the beginning, and going down. They actually finished high. So again, that's showing they're getting close. They finish high, they start high, and if they can maintain the middle, they can be dangerous. If they go all the way across, they just be really dangerous. Their ability to score is ridiculous. The weapons is ridiculous. The line has done a good job. I didn't see the stats as far as sacks. I don't know why they didn't show those stats. They didn't say nothing about sacks. Let me go back up here and see if I can see some on sacks. Because sacks, kick returns, of course, we know that we got a kickoff return. That's another good special teams play. We had some decent kickoff return. LeJounte got his first kickoff return. That was good. Travis got his, I don't know how that happened, but first rushing, even though he's about to throw it to Shador. So that's good. All these things are good, man. They didn't really give up a lot of sacks. They gave up some sacks, but they went up against a pretty decent front. So technically, they didn't give up a whole lot of sacks, but we got a lot of sacks. Boy, did we get a lot of pressures. So shout out to CU. I mean, those are goods. When you win, there's always gonna be a lot more goods than bads. It's even when you lose, there's a lot more bads than goods. So we ain't gonna have a lot of bads, but I would say our bad is the slow start, and from a standpoint, it wasn't necessarily the first quarter, but also Second quarter was, I guess you can say that's part of the start. And kind of dipped off in the middle, 7-7. So if we can maintain a, if you can maintain a consistent flow of the game, then I think that that would be still ideal. Because again, contrary to what the clowns say, we're here to find excellence at this point. We're at the point now where we're trying to tune up things to get to the best. I said this last week. It's no good to ha 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 blah blah blah. Yeah, we know we won. Even the players like we know, because when you get closer to the goal, is when you focus the most. Is when you start to really start to kind of hone down on things that can cause you to lose, because you can come this far to just barely make it. So where we at right now, we know we need to cut down on. But the penalties went down, that's good. But we got to cut down on these holes and these penalties at all the wrong time. Now I do believe that it was a lot. I mean, I feel like they call holes on Colorado. They don't call holes. But where you see the holes on the other team? I didn't see a lot of holes on them, and I know they was holding. I saw the guy kind of ducked down up on the Jordan, seen his arms went over, and they called the holding. That was weird because the guy went up on him like that, and his arms went over the top. He wasn't holding. The guy tried to duck down, and that's the position he was in. So I just feel like at the end of the day, it wasn't a lot of penalties, but those penalties they had hurt. They didn't do a lot of jumping outside. We got to give them credit when credit is due. We really do. They cut down on the penalties. Let's cut down on more. I would love to talk to them to talk about how I would love to talk to them. I would love to demonstrate. You don't have to hold a person. I don't know if y'all watch my channel. I talked about this before. If let's say y'all are blocking me and I'm the defender, and I get a move on you to the inside, you don't have to hold me. All you have to do is push through the closest shoulder. So if I beat you to the inside, like, oh shucks, he about to get the Shador. Let me grab him, and stop him from going across my face, or let me pull his jersey from the other end. All you got to do is push through this. Well, guess what will happen if you push through this? If I'm going this way and you push here, I can't keep going that way. I'm either gonna turn that way and lose my balance, or I'm gonna have to turn all the way around. These guys are strong enough. And I go inside you and I try to rip. If you attack this shoulder versus you're not gonna probably beat me to that shoulder. You probably try to get your head across, but if I'm fast, I'm gonna have a step on you. So if I have a step on you and you're on this shoulder, you're not gonna get to this shoulder. If you push through this shoulder, I can't keep going that way. Explode through that shoulder. I'm gonna fall, or I'm gonna have to spin it all the way around. You don't have to hold. I want somebody to get this. Can we get this message to these boys? You don't have to hold. Just push through that shoulder. Push through the inside shoulder. If he go outside around you, you don't have to hold. Just push through that shoulder. It's going to throw their balance off. But if you try to put your hand across and hold them, and they're going to call it every time. They're not calling you. Yeah, I don't. Somebody mentioned something about Travis. I don't know why he went. He already done Heisman all over the field. I don't know why he threw the ball in. He forgot he was in the game. Cause that's that crap they do at practice. If I say practice go a long way. All that showboating at practice. I saw Wasad or somebody do something, took the helmet off, and one of the strength coach said that's a penalty in the game. That's a penalty in that game. So how they practice is gonna have to. We're gonna have to cut the showboating down at practice. You're gonna have to cut the penalties down at practice. You're gonna expect them to do it in the game. Make them do some up downs. Every time they showboat, they'll cut that mess down. We showboat in the locker room when we celebrate. In fact, we going to the Big 12. And we ain't gonna celebrate too hard then because it ain't over. Because you let me in, it's like Coach Prime say about Sim McCray. If you let me in the door, I'm gonna take it. You let me on the team and then get me in the camp, you can't cut me. If Colorado should feel like if y'all let us in this Big 12 championship, we gonna win it. Like we didn't come this far to celebrate being here. We gonna win it. We have to win it because it's just too much on the table. Not only winning it, not only you gonna win it, but it's gonna give you an automatic bid to the second round of the playoff, to the playoff. Why wouldn't you take that? So I'm not. If I get this opportunity, I'm not just getting this opportunity just to say, "Oh, I went to the championship." No, I want it all. If you get me in there, I want it all. That's how we got to think. So we got to be hard because this is the time to be hard. When people would tend to be complacent and happy they got what they are, this is our time to really, really get on their backs and say, "No, we want more from y'all. We want more from y'all." This is the time. If we don't, if we don't push these boys, if we don't stay on top of these boys, I'm telling you, we got to be. You got to win to understand where we're coming from, y'all. You got to win, know we come. So some of the ugly things, the refs showing you that they not playing with you. The overly celebrations, that's ugly at this point, because you got to know they're not for you. They're gonna call stuff on you. They're gonna do things to you that they won't do to other team. And if the game close, it will cost you, and you will cry a lot harder. You will. So we just got to stay on top of this thing, y'all. I think what we got here. Appreciate you, Varian. Appreciate you. Oh, Prince, since I started here, you know, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. You know, it takes a lot. I've said this from a lot. It takes a lot to be consistent. It brings a lot of extra stuff. Like I had to change platforms. I'm on a new platform today because the other platforms went to acting up on me. And now here we are, y'all. I make sure I'm here for y'all to bring this content. I know a lot of people watch this. You know, some people watch other stuff too, but you know, I have my own different thing, my own different insight, and that's what I try. I try to be nobody else but me. So I appreciate you all. You don't have to be here, but you are on a Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon now, and we about to close this thing on out. So y'all get on with y'all Sunday, not just absolutely. The beauty is, as in closing, Colorado is the most dangerous team. They have not shown who they fully are. The coordinator ain't showed what he fully capable of. So we got more upside. We haven't peaked yet. Our defense coordinator is still young. Our coaching staff is just still really working together. It wouldn't be surprising to me if Colorado get to the every week get better, because that's what they should be. You should be chiseling away at the fat. You know what you're good at, and that's carve away at the stuff you're bad at week by week. And Colorado really should get better. It shouldn't be nothing to get complacent about, because you're still making dumb mistakes and you still dominating. So it should be encouraging for you to know I can still win with the mistakes. Imagine if I fix them. So your focus shouldn't even be about, oh, this team not good and we going. It should be focused on you, self-reflective, the mistakes that you're making, so you can get better as a team. That's what I think Colorado need to do each week. Get better and get better and mess around. They'll be a full team. You go to bit 12, you should be better at the bit 12 than you was at right here at Utah, because that's weeks later, almost a month later. So you get a chance of a month of practice, and you go to playoff. You're gonna get an extra few weeks to practice. You should be better in December as a team and healthier, because you're gonna have a couple weeks or whatever to get your body, and you should be better. You should be, it's like a new season, because it really don't matter what you did in the playoff. That's over with. That's a whole season. So they should get better over time, y'all. That's my expectation. We're not content. They think we are, but we're not content. They should get better. Some of these boys who hurt, they should come back by then, because you got an extended grace. You got a whole nother month. So some of them boys who thought their career was over, they can get a chance to come back and play. They should have a fresh desire to play. They should bring a new energy to the team. It's a new season when the playoffs start. So y'all, we getting a gift, y'all. We didn't know what we was gonna get. We didn't know what we was gonna get. We've been waiting for this season, and we got a gift, y'all. We didn't just get the wins. We got a chance to go into the postseason, not just for a bowl game, but the postseason. This content gonna be, usually we doing content December. It's just like talking about next year. We're gonna still be talking about this year. That's what we got at hand. But we gotta win out. Literally. You gotta win out the regular season, and then you gotta go and win out that Big 12. Appreciate y'all coming through on this beautiful Sunday. Look like it's nice outside. And again, make sure y'all like, make sure y'all share, make sure y'all subscribe. Unified Strength, scrolling at the bottom. Go get you a fresh apparel. Can't get it anywhere but right there online there. Make that call. Get your order in. This is a legendary season. I'm going to say back there. Legendary. Season to remember. History in the making. We all a part of it. I'm just Greg. Greg said it. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe for you new people. You've been hanging around. And I'll be talking to y'all soon. Y'all have a good one.